In this video, I'm gonna teach you how to make a pumpkin cinnamon bun so good, even your ex might text you back. Don't answer though. I'll show you the step-by-step process on how to make the pumpkin dough, as well as the pumpkin butter and pumpkin cinnamon spice filling. I'll show you how to shape, cut, and bake our buns, and we're also gonna be dousing them in a delicious homemade glaze. I can already hear your ex texting you back. Again, don't answer. And I almost forgot to mention, this recipe requires no fancy cooking equipment, so you really have no excuse to make this yourself. Now follow along and let's get to cooking. Okay, so today we're making pumpkin cinnamon buns, and the first thing we're gonna get to work on is our dough. I'm gonna grab a pan, setting it to medium heat, and then I'm gonna throw in 125 grams of whole milk, followed by 25 grams of all-purpose flour. We're gonna mix those two ingredients together, really trying to break up all the clumps of flour, and as it comes up in heat, you'll start to notice it to thicken a lot. You're gonna keep mixing it and letting it thicken until it turns to a really thick paste. What we made here is a Tangzhong, and it has a bunch of purposes when you put it in dough, but the most important thing is that it makes kneading dough by hand a lot easier. And since I don't got a stand mixer and you probably don't either, we gotta do what we can to make this as easy as possible for us. Now let's get to work on the rest of our dough. In a large bowl, we're gonna throw in all of our Tangzhong mixture, followed by 100 grams of whole milk, and then give it a mixing just to cool down the Tangzhong a little bit and just incorporate it into the milk. From there, we're gonna put in 150 grams of pumpkin puree, followed by 2 whole eggs, and then give it another mixing before throwing in 2 teaspoons of vanilla paste. You can use vanilla extract, but I like to use vanilla paste because it tastes way better. Give it a thorough mixing, and now we're gonna throw in all of our dry ingredients. I'm gonna toss in 75 grams of sugar, followed by 8 grams of salt and 7 grams of instant yeast. I'm gonna mix it all together and then grab 550 grams of all-purpose flour and then throw it in our bowl 2 tablespoons at a time. I'll stir those 2 tablespoons in, and once they're fully mixed, I'll throw in an additional 2 tablespoons, continuing that until our dough gets to the point where we can knead it by hand. Once you used up all of your flour and you're able to knead it by hand, it should still be slightly sticky, but you should be able to get it to a nice ball. Now from here, we're gonna throw in 75 grams of unsalted butter, 1 knob at a time. And just know that you're gonna be kneading this for a good amount of time. The butter's gonna break up the dough a little bit, but just keep kneading it and it should all come back together again. Once the butter is fully mixed in the end, you should have a beautiful ball of dough. I'm now gonna cover it and let it rest for 1.5 hours. In the meantime, we're gonna get to work on our cinnamon pumpkin spice filling, as well as our pumpkin butter. But first, if you're liking this video, I would greatly appreciate some support by hitting the like and subscribe button. It helps this channel out a ton. Now let's get back to the video. Now in a small bowl, we're gonna toss in 60 grams of softened unsalted butter. We'll next toss in 45 grams worth of pumpkin puree, giving it a little mixing, and then we're gonna toss in 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Okay, stop. This is Editor Xander here. This is actually way too much salt. Just do a pinch of salt and then mix it thoroughly. Give it one final thorough mixing, and now you have a spreadable pumpkin butter that we're gonna spread across our whole dough very soon. Now in another small bowl, we're gonna throw in 100 grams worth of brown sugar, followed by 8 grams of ground cinnamon, 1 gram or 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground nutmeg, another 1/4 of a teaspoon of ginger, 1/4 of a teaspoon of allspice, and 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground cloves. Now, those 4 ingredients together gives you pumpkin spice. You could just buy pumpkin spice separately, or you can buy all the ingredients separately and mix it yourself. Now, with your handy dandy whisk, give it a thorough whisking, making sure to break up all those clumps of brown sugar. And now you have a nice little pumpkin spice brown sugar sprinkle that we're gonna put on top of our dough along with the butter. Speaking of the dough, it's been resting now for 1.5 hours, and now it's time to punch out any excess excess air in it. I'm gonna move my cutting board off to the side and I'm gonna lightly flour my work surface and plop my dough down on it. Now with a floured roller, I'm gonna roll it out across my surface, getting to about 20 inches in width and 15 inches in height, or 12 inches in height actually. Once my dough is rolled out, I'm gonna now spread all of our pumpkin butter across it, edge to edge, making sure to fully cover it. From here, I'm gonna grab my cinnamon pumpkin spice as well as a strainer, and I'm gonna now tap the strainer filled with cinnamon spice to sprinkle it across it. I prefer to put it in the strainer because I like to give it a nice even spread, but you also can just grab handfuls of it and just sprinkle it all over the place if you'd rather wash one less thing. It's a simple, fun activity that's great for kids or girlfriends if you want to incorporate anyone in your life while they're baking. Something's ringing in the background. Once your brown sugar pumpkin spice has been spread across your dough evenly, we're now gonna slowly and carefully roll up our whole dough from the bottom edge all the way up to the top, taking your time with it and making sure you roll it as tight as possible. Editor Xander here. Now I wanna get 8 even pieces of cinnamon rolls. So I'm gonna mark it down the middle, and then I'm gonna mark the middle point to the right of that mark, and then I'm gonna mark it once more on each side of that. Follow that same step on the other side of our dough, and now you're gonna cut out our pumpkin cinnamon rolls. And you can see here, they got a nice little decent swirl going on. I'm next gonna grab a 9x13 baking dish and then hit it with a little bit of olive oil, and I'm gonna lay down our pumpkin cinnamon buns in that 9x13 sheet tray. Now, if you want, let them rest 2 hours to double in size and bake them right now, or what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wrap it in plastic wrap and put it in the fridge and let it rest overnight. I personally like to do this prep work the day before, so that way the day I wanna bake them, it's less work day of. Plus, if you let it rest in the fridge overnight, the flavors are gonna be so much better, it's not even funny. Now, the next morning, I'm gonna pull it out of our fridge and then leave it on the counter for 2 to 3 hours, and as you can see, it has doubled pretty substantially, except for that one piece in the corner. I don't know what's wrong with him, but he didn't do much. Now, once it's doubled, I'm gonna set my oven to 375 degrees convection bake, and I'm gonna throw them in there to bake for 25 to 30 minutes. Oh, and I forgot to mention, we're gonna melt 2 tablespoons worth of butter and just melt it on top of our cinnamon buns before throwing in the oven. While that bakes, we're gonna quickly make our glaze. In a medium to small size bowl, we're gonna throw in 60 grams of softened cream cheese. And really make sure it's super soft and room temp. If you need to microwave it slightly, microwave it slightly. From here, we're gonna throw in 30 grams of melted unsalted butter, as well as 1 teaspoon of vanilla paste. Give it a quick little light mixing, and then we're gonna throw in 100 grams worth of powdered sugar and 3 tablespoons worth of whole milk. Now, if you want it to be thicker, only put in 2 tablespoons worth of whole milk. I prefer it to be a little bit looser, so I think 3 is the sweet spot. Editor Xander here again. Now, this glaze may be super simple, but it also tastes absolutely amazing. Ooh! I made a good glaze. Now our pumpkin cinnamon buns have been baking for 35 minutes. I'm gonna take them out and bask in their glory. You can see they puffed up a ton and they've fully taken up all the space in our baking sheet, except for that little corner piece. Again, I don't know what's wrong with that sucker, but it's okay. I'm now going to douse them in our homemade glaze and making sure to spread them across evenly, and you're done. You have homemade pumpkin cinnamon rolls that taste absolutely insane. I made this for a few of my friends and all of them said it was one of the best things they had in their life, and now here's my honest reaction to them. Oh my God, that's so good. That's actually so good. You need to try it, or smell it, you can try it.
Okay, and for the gluten-free girlies, just take some of the frosting, put it on a chicken nugget. Just as good.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe. If you want to see another pumpkin related recipe, I'm linking my pumpkin ravioli here. Thank you so much for your time and watching, and deuces.